Politics US News Win McNamee, Getty Images. In this file photo, Minnesota Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar speaks at an event outside the U.S. Capitol April 30, 2019 in Washington, D.C. Omar and others called for Democratic leaders Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer censure President Trump for inciting violence against Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Win McNamee, Getty Images. Democratic Rep. Ilhan Omar had a busy Friday after taking stabs on Twitter at President Donald Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and even Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. On Tuesday, a military coup led by Venezuelan interim President Juan Guaido exploded in Venezuela's capital, Caracas. Guaido staged the uprising, called Operación Libertad, in order to overthrow Venezuela's socialist dictator Nicolás Maduro. On Wednesday, Omar claimed that the United States was to blame for the conflict in Venezuela, reasoning that our country's support for regime change was not in the best interest of Venezuelans. Additionally, Omar went on to say that policies that we have put in place has kind of helped lead the devastation in Venezuela, according to the Daily Caller. Trending: former ICE director sounds off on border crisis. Forget about Congress. Her comments received criticism from Secretary Pompeo, who argued that Omar was ignorant for faulting the United States for the uprising in Caracas. Do you think Ilhan Omar's criticism on the Venezuela conflict was ignorant? 99%, 1,589 votes. 1%, 19 votes. Omar referenced Pompeo's criticism in response to Trump's phone call with Putin in a tweet on Friday. Speaking of ignorance, maybe the VP and Sec Pompeo should spend less time worrying about mine and more time getting the Trump his briefing before he gets on the phone with Putin, the tweet read. This is embarrassing. Speaking of ignorance, maybe the VP and Sec Pompeo should spend less time worrying about mine and more time getting the Trump his briefing before he gets on the phone with Putin, or the media, or anyone. This is embarrassing. Woman face-bombing, https://t.co0002, Ilhan Omar, at Ilhan MN, May 3, 2019. Earlier on Friday, Omar also took aim at Pence for saying she doesn't know what she's talking about on the situation in Venezuela. Omar's rebuff suggested that Pence was merely criticizing her because she is a woman of color and not on her knowledge of the uprisings. Women of color have heard this before, she said in her tweet, claiming that Pence should have phrased his criticism with "we disagree" instead of "she doesn't know what she's talking about. They have to make us feel small," she added. Rated, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib says she was really afraid of my fellow Americans after 9/11. Women of color have heard this before. Instead of "we disagree," it's "she doesn't know what she's talking about. They have to make us feel small." This from an administration that thinks climate change is a Chinese hoax. https://t.co/8zofi4hfh, Ilhan Omar, at Ilhan MN, May 3, 2019. Needless to say, Twitter users were quick to contradict Omar's claims. But you also don't know what you're talking about. Charles C. W. Cook, at Charles Cook, May 3, 2019. Honestly, I think what he's referring to here is not about your gender or race, but rather the fact that you actually have no idea what you're talking about. https://t.co/jarexkey5re, Jason Howerton, at Jason_Howerton, May 3, 2019. You don't think it's more likely that he's simply referencing the fact that everything you said would suggest you don't know what you're talking about? Matt Whitlock, at MattDizWhitlock, May 3, 2019. Other comments beneath her tweet reflected similar critiques. Many argued that Omar was simply playing the race card and bringing gender into the situation to give herself more credibility on the Venezuelan conflict. We are committed to truth and accuracy in all of our journalism. Read our editorial standards. Let's block ads. Why?